The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum. Assemble. You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books, and your live weekly show, your live weekly conversation about entertainment, pop culture, and the like. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from Fantastic Forum Studios, Los Angeles. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll have you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is a riddle. Inside of an enigma, trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You'll love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey.
Hey.
What are you thinking, Joe?
That if my game capture card really did die, it's going to be a pain in the ass to get another one. Like, it was a pain in the ass to get the one I have.
Yeah.
And if it just died, it's going to get a pain in the ass to replace it.
They're a little more common and cheaper now. But
like a few months ago.
You're a little low, Jay. You might need to pull the mic closer.
No, it's Oz. Whenever he comes on, my mic gets lower.
Oz is not on.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Is he?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. As I was about to say, I'm not going to introduce him.
Oh, but I was also thinking, aside from my issue, happy birthday, Scott.
Yes. Indeed. Next, we have the pillar, the backbone, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman. I combined those two apparently. Moses Magnum, you're our Strawler.
Look, Larry, you're fucking up, man. Gain weight again, man. I think you losing weight is fucking you up. You know, I gotta congratulate you. You're the fattest member of Fantastic Forum now.
Am I? No way. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Sounds like lies to me.
Yeah, because you beat me by like 4 pounds.
No, but Joe.
Joe weighs more than you think, man. He's solid. He's like a side of beef.
Look, I don't know. I haven't even seen Oz in 2 years. I don't know what Oz looks like.
I can tell you.
Oz might be a professional bodybuilder on his off days.
You know, I gained a lot of weight from the quarantine.
Like, what are you at right now, Jay?
I think I'm at like 280.
See? Told you. Because Joe's also he's like taller than both of us.
Oh, yeah. Joe
and so he carries it a lot better. I seen him without it. Yum.
He's so crazy. Oh, man.
That day.
Say what?
No, I remember the day he saw me without my shirt.
Was it magical?
It was just weird because I don't normally change in public.
Yeah.
So I remember it.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, Joe, you're pretty fit. Like, for a bigger dude. You know?
I don't
know. We were doing like Long Beach Comic Con.
Yeah.
And that was back when everybody was here. Like Emily, Oz, and Amber.
Yeah.
Why'd you say it like you've never heard of her before? Man.
My mind is just kind of like way on the screen capture card.
Apparently so. I'm not listening. I need to DoorDash you some of that popcorn or something.
Yeah. Some Adderall.
When you hear the knock, just answer. As for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Shout out to Oz. He won't be with us today, unfortunately. He's out making the world a safer place for you and for me. But we still got a fantastic show for you. We will be talking about news, basically like all show, all news, all comic book news, all comic book related news, entertainment, pop culture news, all the time. Well, okay, for the next 2 hours. And then after that, we're gonna stop. But
you owe us a review.
What? I owe you a review?
Yeah.
What am I reviewing?
Demon Slayer.
Oh,
yeah.
Listen, I was about to say, I'm like, I don't think I have a review for you because I didn't read or watch whatever it is I'm supposed to read or watch. But you are right. We will talk some about Demon Slayer, Mugen Train. Mugen. Yeah, we'll talk about that because I got to see it in theaters. It's the first movie I've seen in friggin' a year and a half, and so yeah, we can talk about it.
In theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right, the movie before that. Right, it was Sonic the Hedgehog when that came out. I was with you and Ray, and we went to go see Sonic the Hedgehog, which had, as I've said many a time, was a much better movie than it had any business being. I'm sitting here like, what's up with that Sonic sequel though? I'm sitting here like, what? I mean, where's that announcement? I'm just saying, like,
well, that's one of our news stories.
Oh, well, there you go. See, there it is, synergy. I love it when a plan comes together. So anyway, yeah. So if you have news that you want to share with us, or if you have an opinion on the news that we're sharing with you, please don't hesitate. Jump into the show. We're going to be free-forming, freestyling all show. Before we do all that, though, of course, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, who, without him, this show would not have happened. Happy birthday, Scott Rubin. Hope you're doing well, man. Look, I know Scott's having a fantastic birthday, even in a pandemic. You know, it's like that. Scott Rubin's a creative dude. I'm sure.
He's having a lot of nitrous oxide ice cream.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he's having
with Adderall sprinkles.
Adderall sprinkles. Wow. What? Look, I was gonna be a bit more tactful and say he's having like a mini Burning Man celebration. And then that would have included the Adderall, but without saying it out loud. No.
Yeah, he could still run for office.
That's true. So anyway, but yeah, how do you get down with Fantastic Forum? Here's how you're going to go ahead and do that.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
So we need an animation for that.
We need to what?
An animation.
Oh, that would be nice. What'd you say, Jay?
I don't know how to draw yet, so I can't do it.
Jay doesn't know how to draw, so no animation.
Look, Joni's like, there's a software called Procreate on iPad Pro, and you can draw on it. Yeah, and it's really like, it's like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, but for the iPad. And there's like, whatever you draw, you can actually just animate right on it. And one of the cool things about Instagram is you get to watch like Dustin Nguyen or these other artists that use it, like they're drawing and they just animate it on the fly and post it on their Instagram, and it's like, wow, I'm watching a fucking Jorge Molina cartoon, you know, like it's fucking amazing.
Wow,
that's pretty amazing.
I didn't to do real.
No, it's good. So yeah, Look, I feel like I'm forgetting a part of our intro, but maybe I'm not. Maybe we just got through it. Is that what
Yeah,
happened?
it's because Oz isn't here.
It's because Tiger Claw did not put anything into chat.
Oh, that's what it is.
You would have said, pull a chat comment out of chat.
You're right. You're right. But you can mess around and jump in chat, and we will include it in the show, even if you're not Tiger Claw. It actually, especially if you're not Tiger Claw. So,
Like, even when he's busy working or something, he still manages to get mentioned on the show.
Indeed. Indeed.
Whoever can tell me how many times we've mentioned his name wins a prize.
How like, oh, you mean in this show, or you mean across the
No,
life
across
cycle?
the entire career of Fantastic Four.
Who even knows the answer to that, man?
We're at like 748 right now.
I would not trust the person that could tell me that. I'd be
Tiger
like,
Claw. Tiger Claw be the one that tells you.
like I said, I wouldn't trust the person that could tell me that. I'd be like, man. But anyway,
Simulate a Tiger Claw comment.
Go for it, Jay.
So Simulated Tiger Claw in chat says, hey, what's up, Fantastic Forum? What did you think of the Escape Room 2 trailer?
I mean, I guess that could be a Tiger Claw. That could be a Tiger Claw
He's like,
comment.
do you think Mayor Young would shit himself during it?
Like, well, I mean, I'm saying, like, I've never been so scared that I actually pooped myself, but I guess
Look, the night's still young.
Hey, there it is. There it is.
Escape Room is scary though. Like, it's more cerebral. Like, it's more like the fun of that movie is watching people solve the puzzles.
Is Escape Room not basically like? Isn't it basically Saw?
No. It's so tame. It's so tame. Like PG-13. Yeah, like hardly any. Like, I don't think any blood. I don't remember any blood. Like, it's a very tame movie. Like, you would enjoy it. There was a bit of blood.
I love escape rooms, but not scary ones.
It's not scary. Like, you would actually enjoy this movie, I think. And I'm not just saying that like deceptively. Like, I honestly think you would enjoy it.
Okay. I'm surprised it got a sequel. I didn't know it did that well.
Well, I saw it like 3 times.
Oh, well, it's for you then, Jay. You're the one that got the sequel. I'm like, wait a minute.
Joe's like, you're welcome.
We only expected three watches. We got 5. Green lit. Oh man.
The chat says, what? What did I come into? I don't know, man. Who you married to?
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm playing like
all my hardware is fucking with me right now.
Man.
I'm playing like 2 escape room mobile games on my phone.
Is either one of 999?
No.
God damn it.
999 wasn't that on the 3DS?
It's on the Switch also.
Oh, okay.
And it was on 3DS.
Okay. But isn't that a scary one?
No, it's not scary. There is murder, but it's not scary murder.
What's not scary murder? Isn't all murder scary? At least to the person getting murdered, I would think.
Yeah. It depends what if you have a badge or not.
See? Exactly.
Trust me, it's not scary. It's super tame. That one I don't think has any blood at all. And the story is phenomenal. Like, especially across all 3 games. Like, it's amazing.
So the one on the Switch is a port, or is it a new entry?
A port.
Oh, did all 3 games get ported, or only the first one so far?
I believe all 3 are there.
Oh, wow. Well, who knows, man? Maybe I'll mess with it. And they're like escape room games with a story,
Yeah.
but not a scary story.
No, it's mystery, but it's not scary.
Okay.
Tiger Con Chat says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? What you all think of that Eternals trailer? Also, where were they when Thanos showed up? They have a lot of explaining to do."
Eternals, you got a lot of explaining to do.
That's a terrible Selma Hayek impression, Larry.
You are absolutely correct. It is a terrible Selma Hayek impression, and that would probably be a bit more timely. But it's really interesting because...
Was it?
Wait, are
I'm
we going to
sorry,
jump into the news story or no?
Wait, what? What are we
Are
asking?
we jumping into the news story for the Eternals, or you're just going to do preamp?
Might as well.
Okay, just one last chat comment before we switch gears.
Okay.
Hexzilla in chat says, all murder is scary to Mayor. Mayor doesn't play GTA because of all the murder.
This is true. I've murdered a lot of people in GTA games, and none of it has frightened me.
And with that, I'll play the news music.
Mm-hmm.
Comic book news.
We should have a
Comic book
like Colonel. Well, not like that, but like.
All right. So the Eternals teaser trailer did in fact drop. This is, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is like our first like in motion look at everybody, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mo, despite you not necessarily being a big 2 kind of guy, generally speaking, when it comes to comics, the Eternals are one of these areas where, you know, you're like a fan of these characters.
Yeah, I am. I really like, you know, and part of it is, you know, we got into this last time when we were talking about conspiracy theories episode up here, click up here, where we talk about the ancient astronaut theory, or where these overlords come. You know, it's the tenets of Scientology too, where they just bring in these deviants and these good people in here and just seed the earth with life, you know? And that's kind of where I feel Jack Kirby was, where it's like, you know what? Let me do that. Like I believe he read Chariot of the Gods, that book that's referenced to which is referenced in Ancient Aliens a lot. And it really, that's the birth of that ancient astronaut theory. And really, like Jack Kirby just really said, I'm gonna do that, but for superheroes, you know? And Eternals do this thing, and then anybody's ever taken over or used them has been pretty cool because they kind of always follow that. And that's something that I really like, because it's like, you know, that's kind of, I've always thought, like, you know, the stories of Perseus and Hercules and Thor and Jesus were all like the comics of their time. You know, they're superheroes, and they, you know, time passes by where they become legend and almost history because of the anthropological nature of culture and how everything meshes with these stories. So Eternals really, like, unbeknownst to me as a kid, like, that's why I liked it, because it kind of explained the world, that world, in a way where you kind of see it like our world in a truly primordial, prehistoric stories of really just people with powers and that do great things in our early human history, you know. And
it's like religion makes sense when Eternals exist,
right? And then you know, and as far as the trailer goes, like, they're the ones coming to Earth, and it's like that. At least that's what it seems like. It is a teaser. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. You know, the Sweet Tooth coming out. I'm turning a new leaf, and I'm not hating shit preemptively. But yeah, it's that's what it seemed like, and that's, like, you know, that's kind of the coolest thing about it for me, aside from like the character designs, which they already like got rid of all the cool character designs. So it's like the only one that looks remotely cool is Icarus, and you know, the costume's not red enough. But the thing is, if they made his costume red where it needed to be, like pop, like everybody else would look so like out of place. Yeah, and I think they're not even making Icarus like the main dude like that. They're doing it with Selma Hayek, where she plays an old bearded white man, and yeah. No, aside from that, I mean, that character's never looked that hot. I'll tell you that. So I part of me is like, you know, my head and my heart for you know, comics and superheroes is like, but my penis is like, yeah. So
is this the first like? Well, I mean, I don't want to say major, but I'll say like, I guess, is this the first big two super or comic book character that's been like just completely like gender swapped? Like, has that happened in a movie before where they just like, we know that's usually a guy, but we'll make it a woman, or that's usually a woman, but we're gonna make it a guy?
I feel like it's happened, but you know, it's probably not something that major. And you know, Eternals isn't all that major, really.
Yeah, and that's like, I'm not saying it like, you know, that's why I said like I didn't say major, but just like, you know, big two, because it's like I don't remember. I can't think of another time where that's happened in Marvel, like even for minor characters. Like, oh, say it again, Jay.
Doctor Strange.
The ancient one.
Well, they never. I mean, they never said that she's a woman.
I hear you. Like, they kind of play it a little bit androgynous or whatever, but I mean, she doesn't look like a man.
And they I know they gender swapped Moondragon in Jessica Jones.
Moondragon?
Yeah, Moondragon is like, you know, like the alien character, female in the comics, and in Jessica Jones, if memory serves me right, Moondragon in Jessica Jones is a black man.
What?
Yeah, because Moondragon trained Hellcat how to fight. And in Jessica Jones, a black man teaches just Hellcat how to fight. So ergo, so Fatso, Moondragon is black. It's a black dude.
Got it. Okay. Jay, what do you think of the Eternals trailer?
Oh, I thought it was super pretentious. And
wait, Jay, you're still a little low, man.
I think I think you hear him lower than he is, Larry.
Oh, that's weird.
It's weird because I hear him fine, but you know, I'm having the same issue with the soundboard, where I hear the soundboard really low. But last week I asked you guys, and you guys said you heard it fine. So
okay. Well then, listen. I apologize, Joe. Keep going. You found it super pretentious, and why?
Oh, the song they used is a really pretentious song. And I mean, it's not that I don't like the song, but it is a pretentious song. And when you put it in the trailer, it makes the whole movie look pretentious. And I was not feeling it.
What song was it, Joe? Can't recall it off the top of my head. It must have been. Which one?
The End of the World.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like, don't they know it's the end of the world? Because you're not in love with me anymore, or some shit like that.
Huh.
Like, it's a really nice song. Just a really nice, pretentious song. But
that's interesting.
Again, like, super pretentious.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, I already had my Eternals movie.
What was your Eternals movie?
Hancock.
Wow.
Yeah. It's closer to Eternals than this. From what I see from the trailer, it's closer to Eternals than what the trailer of Eternals is.
That's fair.
And that's what normally in my old days, when I was young and full of piss and vinegar, I'd be angry because it's like, Marvel, you own Eternals. Why is Hancock showing you up? But I'm not mad about that anymore. I don't do those. I don't react that way anymore.
It's interesting because, you know, I don't know that I've ever been a huge Eternals fan in and of itself. Like the characters, or I guess the characters that are Eternals that populate the greater Marvel universe, I'm definitely fans of. Obviously, like Thanos, being the one that I like the most, but even, you know, people like Circe, who was an Avenger for a really long time, or I guess an era is better way to say it, or, you know, people like you know, like Star Fox or whatnot, just kind of goes into the greater, like, you know, Marvel cosmic, like, and you know, doesn't like necessarily keep to themselves as much. Like, I mean, the Eternals, especially during what would be considered, I feel like, or actually, I should say, after the Eternals got created and they had like their initial kind of run, like the Eternals kind of played the background in Marvel for a long time. Like, you couldn't just go to the store and get an Eternals comic book because there wasn't one. The characters intentionally, I don't know about intentionally, but the characters were used more so as background characters in the greater Marvel universe anyway. And even when you have like Marvel cosmic stories, you might have like the Eternals are, you know, might be involved, but it's like more so like, you know, people may be going to Mentor to ask him about stuff because he's like old. And, you know, like you don't see necessarily like Icarus just out doing stuff. And it's not until like relatively recently that Marvel's like, okay, well, hey, we're going to make this movie. We need to get these characters out here. And, you know, of course, we have an Eternals comic book now if you want to go read it. But
nah, I'm good.
But it's not necessarily like in line per se with what you might remember from the Eternals if you had even come across them reading Marvel comic books in the past. So
yeah, I mean,
it's interesting. It's
Eternals,
interesting, like how this is like. What I can tell you is from this trailer, I'm like, this doesn't feel very connected to the greater MCU to me, which is okay. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I mean, realistically speaking, you could have said the same thing about Guardians, I think.
yeah,
But it definitely feels like this is going that Guardians route where they're just like, we've reinvented these characters for the MCU, and this is what they're going to be moving forward. So,
you know, one thing I will say about this trailer is that I don't think I'm gonna love it, but it looks expensive, and it looks like
it does.
they're trying to give you something of quality.
Yeah.
And I think partly because of how you said the Eternals in comics weren't all, they felt they can change them. You know, they weren't all that. But, you know, Neil Gaiman wrote a run that was really good and disconnected from the main events of the Marvel of the time, because it was during like the Initiative and Civil War and Hulk. And I mean, they tied it in without even trying to do the cash grab tied in. It's like it feels like that's part of the beauty of it, where it's like it feels like they're on their own adventure, and Marvel told, like, look, we're paying Neil Gaiman to do this, and he's doing it at this time. We're like, hey, Neil, you think you can? This is what's happening in the universe. You know, we think you could kind of tie it in, and it's kind of like what he did with Sandman, where certain events in the DC, even though Sandman wasn't a part of the mainstream DC continuity in terms of plot, it's still very much part of that continuity, and you would see things happen in and out. Like Superman would show up and you know, it was ancillary stuff. It's not real plot points. Like, I won't be mad if the Sandman Netflix series doesn't have Superman saving that diner where he goes to deal with shit. You know, like it'll be all right if Superman doesn't do that. But if he did, it'd be amazing. But
Right.
it doesn't happen.
Right.
Tiger Claw in chat says, I wonder how much of an impact will the Eternals have in the MCU? Will they show up in other movies and team up with the Avengers? I think this will be like the Inhumans.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
No, but when you say like the Inhumans, you mean like
TV.
like, like fail, or do you mean like?
I think.
I don't. Yeah. What do you mean? I guess is a better question.
I think they're not just like in the comics. They're not as important. They're not as important to the point where you have to have them in your story. So there's no sense of like casting a Angelina Jolie, just so she could pop up in like Civil War 3. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's too much money. Yeah, I don't think they're banking on connecting a lot of these people. Maybe like your Icarus or your Sprite, but Selma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, even Kumail Nanjiani, like, he can get good money to do his own starring movies, little rom-coms, like weird rom-coms.
Right.
So I think, if anything, you're probably going to see an Icarus movie and a Cersei movie. Like, you'll probably get the adaptation of the Neil Gaiman adaptation, in quotes, of course, because it'll be different and dealing with the Dreaming Celestial and stuff. But later on, if this makes money, yeah.
Right. But like I mentioned before, like Cersei was an Avenger,
right? But nobody knows that other than you and me.
And so was the Black Knight, which is in this in this Eternals movie. So
right,
like,
he's not an Eternal, right?
What?
He's an Eternal?
No. Black Knight actually. Black Knight and Cersei
right.
have a
right. But that's what I'm saying. Like they'll go in. I'm saying this story is not going to affect anything you've seen or will see in the MCU. I don't think.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that, but I guess what I'm wondering is if you have Cersei and Black Knight, and they do have a relationship, which it's looking like might happen, which I guess they're doing like a love triangle-ish kind of thing, maybe. I don't know.
Icarus.
But if that does happen, and you do have characters that you're like, I mean, if they have a history with the Avengers anyway, it might be a thing where maybe they do end up going that way, at least like a cameo or in an Avengers movie.
Again, you set yourself up for disappointment by thinking, oh, maybe because of the comics are like this, the movies will be like that. Like we're talking about Eternals because it's not like the comics. So
and that makes sense to me, except for the fact that then why even bring Black Knight into it?
For the Easter egg, for the it's also a testing ground. It's like, which one of these characters, like, do we want to pay Selma Hayek a 5-movie contract like we did, Robert Downey Jr. or this we might if it proves to be fruitful, but honestly, if you take away the charm to make this movie, it might not be that fruitful. And or the public is they're kind of I used to say retarded back in the day, but now I just call them slow adults. But they'll be off. They don't know what they're missing. Led Zeppelin, the great Led Zeppelin said it. Mello is the man that knows not what he's missing, and they might think it's a masterpiece. And guess what? We're gonna have Selma Hayek spin-off movie, Angelina Jolie's like spin-off movie. A Icarus series. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
A sitcom with Kumail Nanjiani. Say that again.
Tiger Claw chat says, do you think the Eternals would be our gateway for Galactus? Could Galactus be a Celestial?
He better not.
I agree.
That's the thing. Yeah, he better not.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's
like,
it's so
if it's
crazy.
like that, I'll take the Cloud, man. I'll take that weird Cloud from the Fox movies.
I'm just saying, like, everything doesn't have to be a celestial. Like it was like, it's so strange to me. I had a conversation at the comic shop with somebody where, you know, they
Well,
were
they already
talking
fucked
about.
up. Sorry, Larry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but they've already fucked up Celestials in the MCU with ego.
That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm like Caitlyn Jenner. I came off a little half cocked.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were talking to me about how it was weird, because they were actually talking to me about how they were happy that Ego was a person instead of a planet, because it wouldn't have made sense for him to be Star-Lord's dad if he was a planet, and it made more sense for him to be a celestial. And it was just like, what? Like, I didn't even like. For me, I was just confused by the whole thing, and
he doesn't need to be Star-Lord's dad.
I was like, huh?
Does he need to be Star-Lord's dad?
No, he doesn't. And that's the whole thing, where it's like, it makes more sense for Star-Lord's dad to be like a person.
Did you slap that person there?
Huh?
Did you slap that person?
I slapped him? No.
Okay, then you know what? We're gonna have to sand off your little F with the word bubble tattoo that we all have. I'm gonna sand it off for you. You're not part of us no more.
Please don't sand it.
Look, you shouldn't have asked for it on your taint. You shouldn't have asked for it on your taint, because we're gonna sand it off now.
Why can't it just be removed with a laser like every other tattoo? Why we have to?
Because we're not every other comic podcast.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Oh man, what is it? Danny Bonaducci did that?
You got to sand it off.
His tattoo off his taint.
Not on his taint, but he did sand off one of his tattoos.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
man.
That's what fucking whatchamacallit, the biker gangs. When you disgrace them. And we are bikers here in Fantastic Forum, so we're gonna send off Larry's taint.
Right. We ride bikes in Fantastic Forum.
We're a bird scooter gang.
Yeah, man. But it blew my mind, because I was just sitting here like, why are we like talking about like why it makes sense for Ego to be Star-Lord's dad? Like that by itself is like, I don't even understand why they made it Ego.
Right.
Even if you wanted to make the guy like Star-Lord's dad a celestial, it's like it doesn't.
That was like his brain was a living planet in and of itself. Like you can talk your way out of that. Like I'll accept that. It doesn't have to be Ego. Yeah.
I don't like, none of it made sense to me, but yeah, it doesn't make sense to have an Ego type celestial, quote unquote Ego type celestial, as well as the ones that we've seen that look like celestials. Like why would a celestial even change like that? Or
Emily being the loving and proving to be the right choice for my life as a life partner and partner in crime reminded me, because I didn't even remember this, that when I actually watched the first Guardians movie and they brought up Celestials, I'm like, man, they're gonna fuck up Eternals. And she's like, what are Eternals? And I'm like, oh, and I went into the whole thing, and now look, it came to pass. They fucked up Eternals.
Yeah.
On that other night, I would say in Rick and Morty, Rick fucked a planet and had kids.
Yeah.
It's true.
It can work.
Listen,
like it could work, but nobody's fucking Ego.
It's true. Ego's ugly.
That's what prostitutes are for, right?
No, but Ego, the thing is, Ego can seed himself, but it's different. It's kind of like a meteorite hitting him and part of his genetic material creating life on another, being the protogenesis of the proverbial genetic soup that eventually, kind of in the similar way that they did Prometheus, where it's like that material mixes with the oxygen and nitrogen and carbon in the air and breathes a different life form, you know. But it's not like somebody's like, ego, give me that planet cock, you know.
What? Oh
That's
my
not how he
God.
breathes.
Oh,
That's not how he
jeez.
breathes. I'm just saying, like, scientifically, that's not how ego breathes.
I
Like,
think
why you laugh at my hypothesis, Larry?
Question. Real quick question. Who wins in a fight, Ego or Mojo?
Mojo or Mogo?
Mogo.
Mogo. Okay. I would say Mogo. Yeah, because he's got a Green Lantern ring. So he's got everything Ego's got, more or less, and then a Green Lantern ring. Like, you know, anybody with a Green Lantern ring can almost go up against like the Thor or your what's the other dude? The Nova Corps, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think like Ego does have like some cosmic kind of stuff going on, like some sort of like higher level cosmic-ish kind of powers, but it's not at the level that Mogo necessarily has to be super concerned per se. If I'm remembering right.
I mean, they could have retconned some shit. Like, we're not the bastions of retcons. We'll tell you about the real gospel, but not the not the Baptists of comics or the Mormons of comics. Yeah. We're the ancient Syrians of comic book gospel.
But yeah, so but yeah, they definitely should not make Galactus or have the Eternals introduce Galactus, especially when they have a Fantastic Four movie.
They just did it for that.
Right. It's like it would be a bad idea, and especially like, yeah, it's just a bad idea. Like, leave it for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I also
Who knows when that'll come?
In the new Fantastic Four movie.
What'd you say, Jay?
Is Johnny Storm gonna be white in the new Fantastic Four movie?
We don't know yet.
Heard anything about that?
No, that's actually my next news story. It's the perfect segue. Yeah. The news story is that Emily Blunt doesn't want to be Sue Storm. I know there's that fan casting, and they were saying that there's talks, like they talked to John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to be Sue and Reed, you know. And she said on the Howard Stern show, like, no, we're not. When nobody made a phone call, that's all fan casting. And she I was a little mad because she's like, I don't think I want to be in any like Marvel movies, like any superhero movies, you know, because she's like, they're just, you know, that you get like your Robert Downey Jr. and he does what he does and he elevates it, but then a lot of them don't, you know. And I think she's, you know, because the law of averages, I think she's talking about the DC ones, but it's like if all of them were like, you know, the Marvel ones, it'd be like, you know what? Maybe I'll be in these Marvel ones, you know. But you know, you get your Jonah Hexes and your like 5 Snyder cuts, yeah, and your Suicide Squads and your Birds of Praise, you know.
Yeah,
being a pretentious cunt.
Wow, why so harsh for her just not wanting to be in a movie?
Yeah,
you didn't read her quote.
What
I
didn't
didn't.
Mo say the quote?
No, I always paraphrase Larry. I don't quote.
Oh, what's
her actual quote? She sounds like a pretentious cunt.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the quote?
I didn't pull it up. I wasn't planning on.
But in the actual quote, she does, and it's funny because, you know, Howard will do these things where he does his interview shows, and right now he's doing it much like everybody doing it from home. So the show format has changed, and he devotes a good hour and a half to an interview. And the quote is, when you read the quote, it is harsh. When you actually, when he said, "Oh, Emily Blunt on it," and I'm like, you know what? I don't care about Emily Blunt. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to know what motivated her to be an actress, you know. But you know, after I read that quote, I'm like, you know what? Because I was actually going to send it to you guys, but I'm like, you know what? I'll send them the actual audio clip. And in doing that, I just got captivated by the interview because that's what happens when Howard. And then I didn't do any of that. But I got to actually hear the quote in its full, unedited, bracketed form, and it didn't come off as pretentious. I can see where you could think of that, like, but it's just it's almost like she's like, you know, if they pay me enough money, I'll do it. Yeah. But it's got to be. She also talked about it has to be the right role too, because you know Tony Stark and for Robert Downey Jr. was like life changing. Yeah, and there's not a lot of those roles coming up for a lot of the people in superhero movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the quote now, and I see a
You
little
agree with
bit.
Jay?
I see a little bit where you're coming from, Jay, because apparently she's saying here that she had to pass on the role for Black Widow.
Yeah,
because she had to do Gulliver's Travels.
yeah,
Smashed it.
yeah. And that's the thing. It was a money thing. Like it was a.
What she said, or at least what I just read,
Yeah.
said that she wanted to work with Robert Downey Jr. and that's why she was like she wanted to do it because she thought like, oh, that would be a great opportunity to work with Robert Downey Jr. and it'll be awesome. So I guess she was willing to like jump into that pig pen to go wallow with Robert Downey. But after that, but yeah, like. And I do see, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna mess around and be like, oh yeah, Jay, you're right. She is a cunt. I'm not gonna say that because I don't think that's true.
What are you guys people throwing the C word like that, man?
Right,
I'm blushing.
This I know. I'm like Jay, like geez. But having read what she said, I understand why you would say that, Joe. Even though I can't condone it, I don't think you should do that.
Can you condone the pretentious part?
I mean, I'm not even.
You gotta take into account she's British, also.
Right.
Like that comes with the territory.
Yeah, and like I'm not like they speak different, and she just said it's not for me. Basically, even though the part that I don't like, which is the part that always irks me, is when people are like, "Oh man, I feel like we're being inundated with comic book. Like there's too many comic book movies, or there's too many comic book shows, too much superhero stuff." And I'm like,
why I call her pretentious.
Yeah.
And
well, but I don't think that makes. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
That thing that she said right there, like that just irks the fucking shit out of me.
Yeah.
When that does. Oh, there's too many superhero movies. It's like me saying like, oh, well, there's too many rom-coms, or there's too many, like, what the actual fuck are you talking about? Like, if you can, it's so basic, and it feels like you just can't think for yourself, or you can't express yourself in any kind of real way, and so you've dumbed down your tiny thought into the sentence, and it's just like, dude, fuck you. Like, if you can't think, then just don't.
Well, yeah, she doesn't get paid to think either. She plays pretend for a living. But and not to diminish that, I'm in the business now, so I respect actors.
Too late, it's too late,
but here's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's easy to tell the superhero genre like, oh, it's too many, but it's like, you look at sitcoms, they greenlight like 15 a year on network television, not to mention the other channels or the Netflixes and this. And, that is a genre that's since the beginning of television. And it's been tropey and exhausted, but when it's good, the cream rises to the top easily. And what you like, what's actually good comes out really good. It's same with horror movies. Horror movies is a perfect example. It's a genre that's not going away. there are more bad than good, but the good ones are like, man. I mean, you guys watched Hereditary right here on our YouTube channel. Like, just the trailer had Larry like, wow. Yeah. Link up
But
here.
I don't even think it's like as much about like the quality of movies in the genre.
Right.
It's like, I just think that, like, on one hand, it's like, dude, like, how many dramas come out
Right.
throughout the course of a normal movie year?
Like,
like, there's a lot of dramas.
how many
And
book adaptations?
how many what?
Like novel adaptations of like movie
Right.
adaptation, or biopics,
Right. And I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of dramas, and I don't know. I've never heard anybody say like, oh man, we got so many dramas. And I think the part that, the main reason for that is like, when they talk about dramas, they're like, each drama is different, because you're exploring different things, where it's like they have different characters, they have different settings, some are in different periods, like dramas have a particular kind of range to them, despite the fact that they're all dramas. And it's like, I feel like you could say that about superhero movies too, just because like, I don't feel like superhero movies are I wouldn't call superhero movies an actual genre of movie. It's just like the subject matter. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like it's like putting all the movies with dogs in them in one group and be like, oh, these are dog movies. And it's like, I don't think that there's a dog movie genre, but maybe there is. I don't know. Is there a dog movie genre?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like 5 Airbuds.
Well, yeah, but
then there's like Max.
But Airbud is like that's the thing. Like, Airbud is a comedy. It's not a dog movie. It's just a movie with a dog in it, right?
No, it's an animal aesthetic movie, because they did that with a donkey. Like, Disney started it with the donkey.
Right. Okay.
Football movie, So
Right.
then there's all those, and then so.
But that would be like a subgenre.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a sports movie.
No, I wouldn't call it a sports movie either. It's a movie with sports in it.
Animal movie.
Right. But I feel like animal movies are a subgenre, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you have like a certain amount of comedies that star animals. And that's like they're comedies. And I feel like for some reason no one thinks of superheroes as like a subgenre. They make it like its own genre, and they are just like, well, they're all the same thing. And it's like, I mean, but they really are not. Like,
I'm willing to call the
Avengers aren't the same kind of movie.
I'm willing to call it the superhero genre a genre. Like, I'm willing to do that. Yeah, because there's enough, especially like this year. This year, we got Superman and Lois, Invincible. The year before we got Watchmen, the TV series, and now with Jupiter's Legacy. Like, there's enough. Like, if you want to say, like, this is just what we're getting now. That's a little bit different than your Avengers and your popcorny stuff.
Yeah,
and
I feel like
there's a lot
different kinds of shows.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's superhero. Superhero to me is the genre, and then what they do with it is the difference. So I like watching shit like, Jupiter's Legacy, Invincible. Now it's like, you know what? I got to go back and look at Legends of Tomorrow a little different. Look at Black Lightning a little different, because I didn't see it with these eyes, like these. I know Black Lightning tried to do kind of like the deconstructivism a little bit, and look, it didn't do it like Invincible, or I mean, because that finale of Invincible is like fucking masterpiece. Like, somebody told me that they didn't watch it because somebody that watched it told them that it was a comedy. Like, for some reason they thought, yeah, it's funny. Invincible is funny, and it's like it has funny moments, but this shit
Oh yeah.
fucking amazing. Like it's like, you know, if you care about Spider-Man's power and responsibility theme, like this is that. Like it's all the peril of power and responsibility. You know, it's a thesis. You know, like Kirkman should have like an honorary like Harvard doctorate in the same way that like, well, not the same way that Bill Cosby got, but in like the ethics of superheroism, you know?
Yeah.
And power and duty and responsibility and compassion, like it all comes into play there. Like it's fucking amazing. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I'm willing to call it a superhero genre, but and that opens it up to like make superhero shit fucking amazing. You know, even if you create your own fake ass superheroes, you know, we saw with like, you know, was it An Ordinary Family and things like that? Like you can do cool things now if it's a genre, you know. But it's like, yeah, Emily Blunt, you think it's exhausted? Then fucking give me something that isn't. You know, you're a power couple. You're a Hollywood power couple. Like A Quiet Place 2. A Quiet Place 2 makes me thankful that I got my vaccine because I'm ready to go to the fucking theater again. Like I want to see that movie in the theater, you know. And it's like, yeah, you want to like talk about a genre that could have been played out, like horror. Like every now and then I see a movie where it's like horror. That's an exhausted genre. Yeah, but you know, I would never say that, of course. But it's like, yeah, it's like it makes me think of like how people look at superhero movies with the horror, because it's like, yeah, there's a ton of them. You know, we've gotten some press copies of some really bad ones. Like, and it's like, yeah, but they keep doing them. It's like, why superhero gets this like rap like that? You know,
I feel like if they weren't as successful as they were, people wouldn't be saying this.
Yeah, I think part of it.
And I get that, where it's like, you know, a superhero movie, especially if you're going to do it right, has a big budget.
It's almost like, oh, go ahead there. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and you know, there are movies that you don't get to fund when you put all your resources in a different area. So, you know, but at the same time, like I don't feel like they're making more superhero movies than any other type of movie necessarily. I just feel like they're making less of other movies because they need those resources to make the 2 or 3 superhero movies.
Well, I says you could argue that comedies are an exhausted genre too. I agree.
Look, if they're not funny, then yeah, it's like, you know what? Maybe it's an exhausted genre. But
I just don't even know what that means. Like an exhausted genre, where you're like, we should stop making comedies because the last few haven't been good. Like, and I'm saying, like, if that's your thought process, like, but I don't even think that that's what people are saying about superhero movies. Like,
no,
they might like them.
Well, it's what Joe, what you're saying right there, where you like, this is not what they think. That's what they say about superhero movies, but it's not what they think. Is like what Joe's saying. Like it's so easy to just say that if you feel you're elevated from that, and it's like, come on, man. Emily Blunt's been in some fucking stinkers. You know, people still mistake her for Katy Perry. Yeah, so
I think Emily Blunt for Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, it's because it's like she hasn't done anything that has been that stand out. Like to be like, oh, that's not a Katy Perry, that's Emily Blunt. Yeah. So you know, I think all in all, I am glad that she wasn't Black Widow. Like I love Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow is pretty amazing.
Yeah. While I dodge the shoe that Emily's gonna throw at me.
Can I dip in real quick with, I guess what is, it's not, well, I guess there's some news to it, but I just want, like, it's just something that made me smile, that I was just like, oh, this is awesome.
We're doing that local news shit now.
Yeah, exactly. This is just
Look, it is the
feels
new
good.
special. This is Fantastic Four new special. FNN.
Exactly. They announced that they're releasing a 35th anniversary steelbook 4K UHD Blu-ray version of the Transformers the movie, 1986 version. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so here for it. And what that by itself was enough to make me smile. But then I found out when they announced it, which I think it went on pre-order yesterday. It was #1 bestseller on Amazon in TV and movies like all day.
Nice.
It's still bestseller right now, but it has like a whole bunch of features, some of which of course is on like I can't even tell you how many versions of this movie I've bought at this point, and I already pre-ordered this one too. I probably have at least 4 copies of it, because I definitely have a VHS and I got a DVD version and I got Blu-ray beforehand, and I probably got a second. I got the last anniversary edition for the 30th anniversary, so that was a Blu-ray too. So I bought it on Blu-ray twice, I think, and actually I probably got it 5 times, because I'm pretty sure I got it on DVD, like just regular by itself, and then they came out with like another anniversary edition that had like a whole bunch of special feature stuff, and so I bought that one too. So yeah, I probably bought it at least 5 times before this time, and so and I was saying all that to say, a lot of the special features on this one I've seen, but they do have some that I haven't seen, because they did do a Till All Are One like documentary on Transformers, like the history of it and how like the movie got made, and like talking to a lot like the director and some of the voice cast and all those people. And so I haven't seen that, because I know that just got made like in, I want to say like the mid 2010s, and then a thing that I'm excited about is they have a feature-length storyboard.
Wow.
Which I was just like, oh, that's cool, because supposedly the storyboard has like deleted scenes and has like extended scenes and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just like, I'm excited about that. Like, way more excited than I have any right to be, considering how many times I've been watching this movie. But
I had the VHS, I had the DVD. I didn't get the Blu-ray, but you doing this story today brings back some like deja vu, because I remember when it came out on Blu-ray, like, it's the first Blu-ray I'm gonna buy. You know? And I remember sitting on that white leather couch on the Wednesday night at your show at your house.
Yeah.
You doing this news story, and it's like, when does it actually come out? Like the release date?
It's pre-order right now. I think it's August.
Okay.
August 3rd. So yeah, man. If you all want, like, and I'm just like, I was sitting here.
I want to get it for my brother, because my brother like is the biggest Transformers fan I know, other than you, Larry.
I believe.
And
I
remember,
I was waiting for the caveat. I was like,
well,
are you sure?
One of the greatest things of when he like him and his wife split up, aside from him taking over my room in my mother's house.
I didn't realize that's where that sentence was going to go.
Yeah. Look, we used to get high and watch Transformers all the time. And, he's like, how they, like Barnes and Noble or Borders used to have the Tao of the Simpsons, or the Tao of, Zen and the Art of Family Guy, and his thought process is like Zen and the Art of Transformers, like he thinks about the philosophy, the ethics of Cybertronian culture and shit, you know,
Yeah.
and how it relates to humans. Like technically, they're trying to impose their views on us to protect us from ourselves in a way, which is something the movies kind of try to get in, but they don't express it properly, you know. And then when you get like the Transformers movies, like this had nothing to do with humans at all. Like that human's in there for no reason, really, you know. But this movie's about them, and that's one of the things he liked. Yeah, it was a good time. So I would get this for his birthday, so we could smoke weed and recreate old times.
There
But
is,
you know,
man. It's so
his
cool.
birthday not in August, so fuck him.
I have a little cousin that is literally just getting into Transformers, and so
Yeah,
like,
it's a great feeling, isn't it?
Oh, dude, it's amazing. Like I'm sitting here, like I'm gonna have to take some of my toys over to his house,
Yeah,
so he can see what these toys look like.
and it makes it easier to shop for birthday presents. Like I still buy, you know, Christmas. I always get my brother. You know, he's a 50-year-old man. I always go to CVS and just get whatever Transformers they got. I get like $40 worth. Like, here you go, man. Happy birthday. Or Merry Christmas. Yeah, and he's happy as a pig and shit. He's happy as a pig with Transformers.
There it is. There it is. But yeah, man, I'm excited because I was in here like, I was like, damn it, do I have a 4K UHD player? But I do.
Yeah,
I because I
Either
wasn't
way,
sure.
it comes with the Blu-ray. Like that's anything above Blu-ray, unless you have the TV that does it. Like it doesn't matter.
Well, no, but I don't think you can't just use any Blu-ray player for a 4K UHD.
Right. But if you don't have a 4K UHD TV, like it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just talking about actually being able to play the disc.
Right.
But
it has a Blu-ray with it, right? It has a Blu-ray with it too, right? Like it comes with a Blu-ray as well.
Not this version. They're gonna release another version that does come with a Blu-ray.
Okay.
A month later.
Oh, I thought it all came in one box. So.
No, not this. No, this one is strictly just the UHD one.
Yeah.
And I know for me, it's like I said, I got 2 copies of it on Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure. So they're probably tucked away in a box, but yeah. What's this? What's Ty saying?
He says, so it looks like Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be Kraven the Hunter in his solo movie. Do you think he's a good fit?
Who's Aaron Taylor Johnson?
He's the dude that played Kick-Ass. Yeah, he's not a good fit.
What?
And yeah, the headline, that was actually one of my news stories I prepared for here, but the headline is Aaron Taylor Johnson to play Kraven and Hunter in solo Marvel movie. And it's not a Marvel movie, it's a Sony movie. Yeah. This is the venomizing of Kraven. And you know, he's got the chops to play like a surly, overconfident Russian guy. I just don't know. The thing is, if he's not playing opposite Spider-Man, who gives a shit? You know, I know there's comics that, you know, Joe, like, was it Grim Hunt is one of Joe's joints, but I mean, that had a lot to do with Spider-Man in one way or another, you know, even though it was a Kraven story. And yeah, if he's not with Spider-Man, who gives a shit? And honestly, like, I don't think he looks like a kid. Like I thought when he married that 50-year-old when he was 20, like his youth would be taken and he'd look grizzled and old now, but he doesn't. He still looks young and fit, and he looks too young to play Kraven.
Who did he marry?
He was in a movie called Nowhere Boy where he played John Lennon like as a kid, and the director of that movie he married.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And she was 50?
Yeah, like right when they shot, like I guess he fucked her, and I mean, you know, she's 50, so she knows how to twerk that thing. So, as the kids say, and so he didn't go nowhere. You know, he's a Hollywood star, and he's like, I ain't going nowhere. Like, you know, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, good for him.
Yeah,
but yeah, right,
because now he's in Kraven.
They're villains that you can make a whole movie centered around. But
Yeah.
Craven's not one of them.
Well, I mean, well, how are they
the
gonna,
star? I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but my concern is how are they going to tie it to Venom? Because they already casted the girlfriend in Venom, like Craven's like wife. Whatchamacallit's mom? What's that dude's name? Fuck. The Craven's son.
Oh, I mean, I don't listen. I didn't know who you're talking about. Like, I don't know that I know anything about Craven's son.
Yeah, no, he has a son, and he has it with the chick from the Ravencroft Institute. When they showed her in the Venom movie, I want to say they showed her in the Venom movie, like in the after credit scene. But I mean, I could just assumed that she was, you know, that doctor
making comic connections.
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah, he's got a son, and it's like, and it's with that chick, and Calypso. Like, who's gonna play Calypso? Like, that guy looks like a little ass kid. So whoever's gonna play Calypso needs to be like even younger, which is terrible. Like, that's not gonna look cool on film.
Yeah, there you go. I definitely like. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I will say that I understand when you're looking at what the MCU is doing, and you have a cast or a cadre of characters. You're looking at that, and you're saying to yourself, we can replicate that. And I'm not saying that it's not possible. What I am saying is, dude, like if there's ever a way or ever a reason you hire a consultant, like a comic book consultant, like someone that writes comics and understands the history of these characters, like this would be the reason. Like, if you're Sony and you're like, we want a spider person universe or whatever, or whether it's spider villain or whatever, like
Spider-Man
people, and you're like, what should our story be to connect all these people? And they'll come up with a story that at least will be decent enough so that from a fan perspective, you're like, why are they doing that? You know, or from a fan perspective, they won't have to say, why are they doing that? Maybe that's what I mean to say. Okay. I'm just like, it's insane, man. Like, yeah. I don't know how you make a Sinister Six movie completely divorced from Spider-Man, but what I know is the people that usually write over at Sony, they can't do it.
They can't, yeah.
They can't do it.
I can give you a Sinister Six movie, and it'll be great. It'll be derivative as fuck, but it'll be great. It'll be Ocean 6.
With the Sinister Six?
Yeah, Octavius 6. And then, you just do you do like a heist plot, like getting these guys. You show them in action, like just coming, and then the second half is them actually pulling it off. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, "Fuck, we're here. We can do this again. Let's go for something bigger." And then that's the one where they fight Spider-Man. Yeah, and that's
like a movie with them getting away with the crime.
And it's like, fuck. And then the news, like, Sinister Six, why wasn't Spider-Man there? Why? He's a menace. He's working with him, and it's like, there's a reason why, you could tie it into Spider-Man's own movie as like he was blipped out of existence. That's why he wasn't there, know? And that's it.
Damn it, Mo. That's actually a good idea.
Look, I told you, I'm in the business, Larry. I'm in the business.
That's a really good idea.
And that's it. It's Octavius 6, or if you want to use a cartoon as a basis, look, Kingpin 6, Mm-hmm. And it's like you can tie it into, sideways to like the Netflix series, because it's like he's doing it from jail. So it's like the 6, and you just have him, a bald fat guy from the back, like Marcellus Wallace, with the bandage, and just be like, hey, you got to do, this. Put this plan in play, like just a little cameo like that, and it's
Black Kingpin. Oh
no, like for Netflix.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because that Daredevil was Fox anyway, so that's not gonna use that. You just make a guy to look like Vincent D'Onofrio, and don't even call him Kingpin. He's just a dude that's like has some pull in the prison that and it's like from the silhouette, you know it's Kingpin. You don't have to
Right.
call it. Yeah, you could get sued, but it's like, look, make all that 300 million and please all the fans, and then pay off Marvel. Hey, here's a consulting fee. Here's your
Right.
copyright fee.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, dude, Kingpin don't own all the white suits.
Yeah. Look, well, he'd be in jail because in Daredevil he was in jail. So it's just a dude in a cell, but he's like Paul Sorvino in Goodfellas in jail. Like you just see him from the back. He's just a big fat guy in a cell where the guard like is delivering his message to the outside world. And it's like, wow, like that's Kingpin. No, we don't know it's Kingpin.
Right.
Yeah. Like, the burden of proof. Yeah.
Burden of proof.
Yeah.
Look, that'd be I will tell you, I would not be mad at Sony for trying it.
Look,
and like I would love to talk about the news stories about the legal battles between Sony and Marvel and Sony trying to push the line because they're like, hey man, we're trying to make movies too.
Sony, holler at me, man. I'll charge you half as much as Dan Slott would to consult on Spider-Man universe shit.
There it is, and he'll be at least at least 3/4 as good. At least.
Yeah. Look,
that's a bargain.
I just don't know how to write. That's all. But I know how to tell people what to write.
There you go.
You know, I'm executive mind.
I agree.
An almost interesting side note. My first Sinister Six story was the Kingpin Sinister Six.
Oh, yeah. See? So, look, I made it connected to comics without even trying.
There it is.
They turned Sandman into glass.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It's like,
that was a mistake.
I can't wait till Sony calls me and I'll tell them no.
Wait.
I'm sorry. Oh, Larry, you interrupted Jay. Say that again, Jay. I didn't get.
Oh no, I was saying turning them into glass was a mistake. Although the mistake was actually breaking the glass once they turned them to it.
Yeah.
TigerCon chat says Transformers 1986 in 4K. Would you be able to tell the difference? It's cell animation. How much do they need to clean it up to look 4K? That's an Oz question.
Well, I can do the Oz question. Where's my glass?
Okay, all right. Look, get your glasses. There it is. Oh,
so when they stole the election, the thing is, yeah, it's cell animation, but it was captured on a film camera. And film doesn't have megapixels, the sensor is different. It uses an actual shutter. It uses actual physical film, which has no limit for upscaling. So technically, look, you're not going to get like a 60 frames per second animation. You're going to get a 24 frames per second animation, but it'll be able to fit your big ass high def TV beautifully. And the colors, all that is all color grading. And now with the technology and that source material, you can actually do really good color grading and upscaling for a full screen, big ass TV presentation. Because back then, it's like for home video release, even back then with Blu-ray, like TVs weren't, not everybody had access to like a 72-inch, And that's where we're at now. It's like you're gonna be able to utilize the millions of pixels when your original film stock has no limit on how many pixels you can use. Now I'm probably wrong, but it's highly unlikely.
I'm gonna say yeah, you can tell the difference only because I had a VHS and I had a friggin' DVD, and there was a difference.
And the Blu-ray.
And I definitely had but like I just remember the difference, the jump in the quality. I remember watching my first DVD and just being like, I will never watch a VHS tape again.
I knew the movie that made me not like really say, you know what, I'm buying a DVD player, I don't give a fuck, was The Matrix. Like I had it on VHS, and then when I watched it on DVD, it's like, light years difference. And I'm like, you know what? I'm all in on DVD. Fuck it. Yeah.
The first DVD I watched was Pleasantville.
Oh wow. I
Yeah.
can see that making an impression on you.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, it's the whole purpose of that movie is to get you to buy DVDs. In the sense.
I was like, why do we even have VHS tapes still? Like, who's holding on to this?
Yeah,
and it turned out it was Nia. She was the one. I was like, oh.
So my brother, my brother who loves Transformers, it was his name is Oscar as well, and I could be confused with Oz, but he had all these DVDs. He would rent DVDs because he liked the quality, but he went to Costco and bought himself a Go Video, and he used to like bootleg all the DVDs he would rent to VHS tapes. He's like, I can still bootleg with VHS, so I'm holding on to it. So I remember for his birthday one year, I got Berserk, which R.I.P. Kentaro Miura. He just passed away last week. The dude that works on Berserk, and I remember fucking renting that at Blockbuster, and like, he's gonna like this shit. So I just recorded. I didn't even get to finish it. I just left the recording just so that he's like, here's a whole anime series for your birthday. Wow. And he appreciated it because he didn't buy it. He's like, yeah, don't give no money. And Larry, you know my brother, so his face saying, yeah, don't give anybody no money. It's hilarious.
So did you all hear that they're gonna make a live action animated Injustice movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, that's kind of cool. Injustice is a great story. I just wonder, I'm like, are we gonna get like the video game story, or are we gonna get like the comic book story, or something in between? Like, I don't know. What would you all like to see?
I think it'll be like Flashpoint, where it's like you're gonna get the gist of it, but it's gonna be its thing.
Like, it'll be not completely different. Like, it'll have some of the story beats, but
yeah. Because honestly, like the comic story is done well. It actually elevates the video game story. Doing the video game story itself, like, while it is interesting and it's good concepts, there's very limited amount to work from. There's more to work from the comics. But these movies tend to not follow the comics. So I really think they're going to do their own thing. It's just like, evil Superman. All right.
I actually didn't play Injustice story mode, so I don't know how much of the story, like how much story is actually there. I just know that,
it's not a lot. It's all inferred. Yeah. A lot of it is inferred depending on what character you play. So, you can't just pick one story to adapt. You got to create a guy with golden armor to make a halfway decent movie. Yeah.
Wait, but see, so and that's the thing where I know that, or at least in some of the Mortal Kombat games, especially in the latter ones, when you play the story mode, like, they have a narrative, and it's not like obviously back in the day, you would get bits and pieces of it if you play as one person, but the story mode literally has you like shifting between different characters, so you can get the total aspect of the story as you go through the narrative itself.
From what I remember,
does that or not?
Yeah, how I remember Injustice, the first one, I didn't play the second one. Mm-hmm. It didn't do that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. You have a preference, Jay? You care, or you just want to see it either way?
I didn't read the comic.
Okay.
So I kind of hope they do the comic.
Got you.
I know the game was interesting, but it was kind of bare bones. Like, you only get like some cool shit with some of the endings are kind of cool.
It's all in the cutscenes, really, for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Along those same lines, we got a trailer and a release date for Batman: The Long Halloween Part 2. So that is going to come out for digital. It'll be out on the 27th of July, and on Blu-ray it'll be out on August 10th.
They're not waiting too long between part 1 and part 2, so I guess that's good. Like you don't have to wait. Huh?
It's a month. Like part 1 comes out in June, the second one comes out in July. It kind of makes me feel like, why didn't they come out at the same time? Like they're both done,
right?
Like, and you know what really got me pissed off and in a bad mood when I was reading the story?
What did that, Jay?
I know that for a fact that in 6 months they're going to come out with a supercut, like
of both,
right? With both of them together, how they should be, and it's like, dude, it's sad that they're gonna try and milk all this money and then make you wait like an extra, like you either watch it when it comes out or you wait 9 months for the actual experience.
Yeah.
How it to be. And it's just kind of bullshit. And I will say, I know for a fact they're gonna do it because they've done it before.
Right.
With Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, they did it with the Death and Return of Superman. It's like, this is what they do, and it's kind of pissing me off right now. Like, so I might forego The Long Halloween until the supercut comes out.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch the trailer because it has spoilers in it. Like, I haven't seen part 1 yet, so it's like, if it's part 2, it's obviously going to have spoilers for part 1. So,
or will it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
That's fair. I don't like. I kind of feel like the only reason that I think that they might do this is price point.
I would rather just pay what they want for the whole thing.
No, yeah. I get that, but there's some people, huh?
I get that people don't want to do that. I get that most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like you should come out, like, just release it all. Like, if you want to buy them separately, buy them separately. If you want to buy the supercut, buy the supercut. But why should I have to wait 9 months to do that?
Yeah, but how people do, man. Like, it's one thing, like, if you release them at the same time, people be like, well, I can't afford both, so I'm not getting either.
Then wait for the supercut.
No, but the supercut, the supercut is going to be more money too.
Once they can afford the supercut, they can get it. Like, they're going to get it at some point.
Maybe.
Right. Like, they might wait a while.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It just pisses me off.
Yeah, but I hear that. It's like they're both done, so I feel you. I do feel you. What should we talk about next, fellas?
There's a little bit of breaking news.
Okay. What's
Jimmy
happening?
Kimmel just broadcasted in the East Coast, and he's lobbying. I'm sharing the picture here, but he's lobbying that he should play Craven instead of Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's like, I don't know what he said because I haven't watched it yet. But knowing Jimmy Kimmel, his sensibilities, and how it relates to mine, it's like, if you're just getting a plain white guy that you can just put a beard on, like, I'll play Craven. Yeah, right. More appropriate. So I don't know. I want to go see that after this to see what he actually said. But he's also working for Disney, so he's probably throwing a jab at Sony to get, you know, a raise or a bonus at the end of the year or something. But you know, he does it well. I've seen him do that, you know, like you know, he has to promote The Bachelor, but he does it in his way, and
Right.
it's hilarious. But in other news, there's you know, people are weird. People like female characters to be like half nude, and by people I mean me. I like that. And one of the things that happened, I don't know if you guys know who Tarna is. I know Joe knows who she is, but I'm sharing this video right here. Larry, if you can just play the gray one. If you don't know who Tarna is, this is what she looks like. Tarna is the character from the Heavy Metal movie. Like that's a cosplayer that cosplays as her, and that's an animation cell from the Heavy Metal movie. The comic is actually coming to an end in issue 6 in a couple weeks, and maybe I actually think it's about a month or two. But Stephanie, shit, I forget her name. She revealed on Instagram or Twitter, or one of them. She revealed the new costume, and people are mad. Stephanie Phillips, the writer of the comic. And Larry, if you could play the next one, this is what the comic issue 6 looks like. She's wearing armor and fully clothed, damn near a turtleneck, and people lost their shit to the point where like they were commenting on the post like all crazy. Heavy Metal actually had to make a statement regarding that, and basically Heavy Metal said something. It'll pop up right here in a little bit, I think. Maybe there it is. It says it has come to our attention that some of you are confused that people can change their clothes. And you know, so we suggest, you know, they started trolling the audience, basically, the Heavy Metal on Twitter and on Instagram, and it's like, you know, it's a weird fight, but it's like, yeah, it's not like the comic doesn't have nudity in it, you know, like right. The character is known for being nude, and it's like, yeah, it's just, you know, the way the comic is going is she's building up to a big fucking fight where she needs a little more than just a thong and a sword, you know, and and you know, half of the people that comment
hashtag not my Tarna.
Yeah, the thing is, half of the people that comment are probably not reading this series, and thankfully, for me, and hopefully you people that are watching this, you took part in that Humble Bundle deal where you got the first 3 issues of Tarna. Yeah, so you know, issue 4 came out. That's the gray picture. The first one that we saw was Louis Royal's variant cover. Amazing, sexy as fuck. Like he's one of the premier fantasy artists. Draws stuff for like Dungeons and Dragons books, some Heavy Metal covers, and interior art for the album covers, and then some was it Magic the Gathering, like that's, and he did that for issue 4. Looks amazing. You're getting your nude, half near nude Tarna, but yeah, that dudes are mad. And it's like, one of the comments I read was some guy saying, well, if Heavy Metal really wants to prove they are Heavy Metal, like their name, and not go the way of Metallica. And it's like, I took offense to that because it's like, Metallica? Like, what the fuck? Like, they're not making music. You know, Metallica changed, you know. Look, this isn't the Heavy Metal Minute. But Metallica changed their style. They evolved their style. And it wasn't to try to get more people. I don't feel it was, because they just want to do what they want to do. I mean, even after they changed their style, when they sold out and people didn't like them, they sold out a show on Antarctica. Like, they're the only band to ever sell out. Yeah, they're the only band to ever sell out a show on all 7 continents. You know, and it's like, you know, Metallica did what they did. Like, their music is still good. Some of it's better than others, and you know, but it's just what happens when you live that long and make your art that long. It's not, you grow out of it. You're never gonna have the same experience listening to Disposable Heroes and Master Puppets as you will for Ain't My Bitch on Load, because you're a different person than you were. Like, if you're still the same person you were when you heard Disposable Heroes on Master Puppets as you are on Ain't My Bitch and Load, or you know, there's something wrong with you. Period. Like, you gotta look at your life decisions. You're still that teenage dude in your 30s. Yeah. And I learned that the hard way by going through my own shit and then listening to Saint Anger. Like, man, I hated this album, and then I still hate it. It's not done well, but the lyrics, I was like, I can see why they did it this way, you know. And they've actually reworked some of those songs where it's like, now that I'm even older, I'm like, these are good songs. Yeah.
Like here's what I'm trying to figure out. Just like from, and you know, forgive me here, but if you know this answer, then great, and if not, that's okay too. Logistically speaking, like how are fans like getting to Antarctica? Like, is there like an airport there?
No, what they do is they get you buy your ticket. The ticket includes a flight to Argentina, and then a boat ride to Antarctica.
What?
Yeah, and then they just had a stage set up on the coast of Antarctica, and they actually did it environmentally friendly, where they put like a soundproof dome so none of the sound like breaks off the iceberg and shit.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
like,
and
I'm just saying, like, so how much did a ticket to that show cost, and how big was how many people?
It was like whatever fit on the boat, so it's got to be, you know, with crew, because it was a big boat. It was like I think one of the Argentinian military like carriers.
A small boat.
It
doesn't matter. Like, I'm not gonna mess around and be like, oh man, it doesn't really count as a sold out concert. It was only 15 people. It's like, if you can get 15 people to come watch you, like pay to come watch you do music.
I think they got 500. I think they got 500. And
like, even say again.
It's way more than 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's way more than 15.
Yeah. Even if, like, it doesn't matter. Like, just the logistics of being like, hey, we're gonna go and hold like, you could just hold a concert in Antarctica and live stream it, and that would be impressive to me. Where I would just be like, wow, like, cats are out here, like, we just wanted to play on all 7 continents. You know what I mean? Yeah. That would have been enough for me. But to actually have, like, be like, no, we sold out our show and people came to Antarctica. Like, dude, like, okay, I can't think of not one person, like, from a music perspective that I enjoyed that much that I'm like, well, I'm gonna go buy a ticket to Antarctica.
If Metallica plays a show here in Southern California, it has to be like, you know, they do Coachella, right? Yeah. Coachella is a big thing here in Southern California. Now, you see how many artists they've packed to get Coachella to be that big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Metallica does a show there by themselves.
Oh, at Coachella?
Like they rent that whole space out for themselves, and then they put whatever bands they want to come up. The last one they did there was the Big Four, the original thrash band. So it's like Slayer, Testament, Anthrax, and Metallica, and they did a jam together, the 4 bands. It was amazing. I didn't get to go. And part of the reason I didn't get to go is because I did get to see them here at the sports, at the Coliseum here in LA. It took 5 hours to get home. Yeah. Because the whole city was congested with people that went to go see Metallica.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's, you know, like all this to say that Heavy Metal Magazine wishes they could go the way of Metallica.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Shoot, I guess, is this a good time to do the Heavy Metal Minute?
Look, I already started it, so might as well.
Let's do the Heavy Metal Minute then. You got that, Joe, or you want me to do it? I can do it if you need me to.
Yeah, you can. Would you, please?
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate that.
Another Fraction of Forever or Heavy Metal Minute. I don't know how long these are going to go today, but there's quite a few stories in the news. And starting off with David Ellison. Now, last episode saw me talk about David Ellison, and he got in trouble. He was Skype sexing or FaceTiming or jizz on your FaceTiming. I don't know what they call it these days. some girl, and they accused him of grooming an underage girl. They showed the video of him beating off or whatever. You know, the girl came out and said, you know the story. She wasn't underage. It was 2 consenting adults, but he's still in trouble. Long story short, he's still in trouble. But I thought that he was going to be leaving Megadeth, and that's what happened now. Dave Mustaine released a statement saying that they are parting ways with David Ellison. They still don't know all the details, is what he went on to say, but they're parting ways, and hopefully everything will turn out right. But in the meantime, it's easier for David Ellison to not be in Megadeth, because, you know, they're having a tour this summer, late summer, fall, and, you know, Megadeth don't want that trouble. Their tickets are going for about $1,000 last time I checked, so they don't want people not buying those tickets for whatever reason. They don't want to be canceled, so they fired them, and that's really the end of that story. David Ellison is saying that he will take legal action, the people who leaked that video, because it was a private conversation between 2 consenting adults, and he actually is akinning it to revenge porn, which, if you guys know, or maybe you don't know, revenge porn is a very, very serious crime. It's a federal crime, federal felony. And if he actually gets that into court and charges with that, whoever leaked it and spread that misinformation, you know, he's pursuing that and, you know, legal action. And that's probably, you know, I'm no legal expert again, but maybe that's why it was better for Megadeth to fire him, because he lost money. He lost a job based on it. And that will make that dude that leaked that video, or girl, we don't know, it's going to make it harder for that person in jail. And it might even lead to jail time. And then he or she will get fucked harder in jail than David Ellison did out of being in Megadeth. And even more Megadeth news, we talked about in the past, I want to say maybe about 6 months ago, about the European releases of DC Comics' death metal series, or Dark Knight's death metal. You know, they have a soundtrack with Megadeth in it, and they have Mastodon. Mastodon just released their song from that album as a single, so you can actually see it. I'll put a screenshot here for you, because it's the comic book art with Mastodon playing. It was really cool to see Greg Capullo's art over the music of Mastodon while I was at the gym the other day. I felt a little giddy being a metal fan and a comic fan. You know how I love those crossovers. But if you remember that story, you remember that I was mad that only Europe gets those variant covers. Here in America, we don't get those. And I tried to find a way to get it, and I still haven't found it. But Megadeth released their cover as a shirt. So you can actually buy the new Megadeth shirt is DC Comics art by Greg Capullo. So guess what I'm getting for myself for Christmas, or Sunday, whichever day comes first. In other legal news, Marilyn Manson is in trouble, as you know. They issued an arrest warrant for him in New Hampshire. Now, don't think it's for the sexual shit. This is actually based on something that happened at a concert of his back in August 18th of 2019. And he basically, the warrant says that he spit on the videographer. So, you know, the videographer is like, I'm just as hurt as all those other alleged sex acts. So let me make sure I get that money before they do. At least that's what I assume. I'm no legal expert, like he was pointing out, but he might have to shell out for that one. But yeah, Marilyn Manson allegedly spit on a videographer, and now there's an arrest warrant. Maybe that's all they can get him on, and that's what they're gonna do. I'm Moses Magnum. This has been a Heavy Metal Minute.
Great job, Mo.
It's okay.
Nah,
I see all the mistakes now.
Listen, I will go ahead and say that I thought that video was 100% on point, except for the fact that I do believe that you very well might be a legal expert. So outside of that,
well, you know,
I'll take my legal advice from Moses Magnum any day of the week. Moses Magnum, JD.
Esquire.
Moses Magnum Esquire.
it's
His
you know,
name was Moses Magnum. Jeez, I feel like you got to win every case.
look, I don't think you get that name unless you win every case.
Right.
At least
right.
that's my marketing plan.
Moses Magnum Esquire.
The thing is, we talked about the John Schaefer thing too. You know, the treasonous John Schaefer, who graces us with our outro theme. And I called that one from beginning to end. Like it's almost taking too long at this point because he's still yet to see his day in court, and I don't think he's gonna get any time. And the only thing that I didn't see as as the wild card was the witness protection thing, which that's weird because he can't perform in witness protection. He's gonna go back to being he used to, when he was writing music for the band, he was a Home Depot guy, like where all the Mexicans, or I'm sorry, where all the undocumented workers from all sorts of walks of life and countries stand outside Home Depot to get work. He was one of them,
Really?
Yeah, and I think the first tour he was still doing that, because there's no money in metal, and especially when so it's like he's gonna go back to doing that. And look, it turns out nobody's gonna need to know who he is, other than the Oath Keepers and the militia people he ratted out to the State Department. Yeah.
Are we not allowed to say Mexicans anymore?
I just don't want to get canceled.
You definitely can't say Mexicans. Everyone
Well, you
knows
can say Mexicans. You can't just assume that they're all Mexicans standing out at Home Depot. It might be like, some of them might be Nicaraguans.
Oh, boo. Boo, I heard you.
What?
So back to news. Jay, did you do you have a story that you were trying to do? Or
I think 2 stories.
Say again?
I think I have like 2 stories.
Yeah, if you would go ahead. Like, why don't you give us one of them?
So the Saw franchises joined the $1 billion box office club following the release of Spiral. So, yeah, now the Saw franchise has earned over $1 billion thanks to this newest movie.
That's so crazy. I saw the trailer for that, and I was intrigued, but I love Chris Rock. I didn't see how he could do that. Yeah. People tell me to watch Fargo season 4. He's in that, and he does a really good job there. But I believe that he could do a good job in Fargo. I don't think he could do a good job in Saw. But Saw is one of these franchises that can actually, Donnie Wahlberg got his comeback from the Saw movie. So I guess, if you can be good in that, you can. It lends itself, I guess, for you to be good if you're good. Yeah. But the trailer, it didn't appease my suspicion. But I'm down to watch it. I love the Saw movie. So
I can say from firsthand experience, he's great.
Okay.
There you go.
It might have been just a shitty, they probably went to Fiverr and got a trailer editor or something. Because, Joe, you saw the trailer too, right? Am I off base thinking that he might not be that great in it based on the trailer?
I think the trailer does not give him enough. You really have no idea what he can or can't do going by the trailer.
Okay.
The trailer doesn't showcase him well at all.
Okay. Yeah, and for me, I was expecting this with a name like Chris Rock and Saw, the trailer should showcase that, and I guess it didn't. So I was right. They went to Fiverr and got somebody to edit the trailer.
Right, but the movie is actually really good, and I love the theme. It's actually good.
And when you say the theme, you mean the theme? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
Oh no, what's your question?
I was gonna ask, like, is it the theme of the story or like the actual music?
No, the theme of the story,
Okay.
which is killing people that deserve it.
Hmm.
Um,
Cool.
of course, they have a chance to get free if they work through the trap, but
Yeah.
that was actually one of the only shortcomings this movie had. Like the traps were not great, and it did feel like the timing was a little off compared to some of the other movies. Like they don't have enough time to really sit with what they can and can't do. Like for instance, this guy, one of the people that gets trapped, he has like 2 minutes to decide whether or not he wants to lose his tongue or get hit by a train. And it's like, that's not enough time. He, like, I feel like that was something he should have sat with for a while. And that kind of happens with like almost all the traps. Like they feel a little rushed. Like they're not actually giving these people a chance to get out, which may be on purpose, but at the same time, you know, if you're going to take up the mantle of Jigsaw, you got to give people a chance,
Am
no matter how much you hate them.
Am I wrong in feeling like that's an easy decision whether you're gonna lose your tongue or get hit by a train?
Um, Honestly, it's like, I mean, it's self harm is hard.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like, yeah, like just doing something with the fact that you're gonna cut your tongue out and you've got to do it quick. It's like I can see myself hesitating a little, like it's my tongue. I'm used to
Yeah.
it.
No, I agree with you. Like I'm not saying that it's easy to do or that you know you're just like, oh, okay, well, hey, what, I'm gonna do it like fire, like quickly, like oh, well, it's nothing. Like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, when you're like, okay, well, what are my choices? It feels like, well, I can't let the train hit me, so I can't like, you know, I definitely can't let that happen. So once I've come to that decision, it's not like I'm wondering, if I should cut my tongue or not. It's me trying to figure out how do I do this like probably the least painful way possible, or how do I psych myself up to just get it off, as opposed to like but man, yeah, trust me,
I'm not
I
giving
feel where you're coming from, and I'm sure if I watched it, I'm sure I would be like, oh yeah, I'd probably act like that too, because I
right.
made the choice, but follow through is the thing, right? We choose a lot of things, right? We think we choose a lot of things, and then how often do we do them? So, ugh.
Right. But it's a good movie, and Chris Rock is great in it. And
Cool,
I like the direction the story is going. Like, I really hope they keep these up.
nice.
I mean, I'm in to watch it, like, but I'm not gonna run to the theater for it. Like, Joe, you weren't here when I said it, but I would go to see the movie I'm gonna go see in the theater first. Is gonna be A Quiet Place.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one, and I talked all through it. So, like, you know what? I think in the theater with social distancing, and I hope there's not a bunch of fucking assholes talking through it like me. But you know, I, I'm
I,
gonna I'm gonna do it.
I,
Like,
I, oh, go ahead.
I really wish I saw the first one in the theater by myself.
Dude,
First one was good.
Yeah.
Like, and the little baby, like, man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Why do you even deal with that shit?
Yeah.
An attack.
Joe's out here tossing babies in the trash. You don't even need monsters.
I mean, it's a fucking hell of a liability. Like,
Yeah.
all babies do is cry,
Right.
and these monsters are attracted to sound.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like at any moment you could have aliens on you because the baby just like got hungry or annoyed.
But even the giving birth like process like that, like she can't push without making noise. Like, I mean, I don't know. I've taken a big shit, but I've never birthed a baby.
That's the thing. Like that part is controllable. Like you can.
I don't think any of us here are qualified to talk on that part of it.
I mean, I saw the movie. Like they have the scene where she gives birth.
Yeah.
It's basically like in a safe, so like no noise can escape. So she's allowed to be as loud as she wants, and she was loud.
There's a solution right there.
Yeah.
Carry around a small safe to put the baby in.
You're so insensitive, Larry.
A friend of mine was talking about watching that movie in the movie theater, and was just like he was basically telling me, he was like, you could hear a pin drop in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was like, everybody was just like, everyone shut up. Because the movie apparently did such a good job of immersing everyone in that experience that they were just like, we can't talk because these things will get us. And I'm like, man, like that's an amazing kind of group experience to have. I can't even imagine. Like
I like forget about the group part. Like, yeah, I just want to be in a big dark room that's quiet. I don't trust enough people. Like, honestly, I don't trust the second one to deliver that experience as well as the first one did. Like, realistically, like the movie could be great, but people know what they're getting into already, so they're gonna crack jokes. And I think I can only do this in the theater if you got to make your reservation and be 6 feet apart from other people, and because I don't think I wouldn't. If this was pre-pandemic, I wouldn't go see it in the theater. I don't want to do it to nobody. It's like, bitch, shut up. I'm like, fuck you. You shut up, bitch. Yeah.
Hilarity.
But
so,
yeah.
What's your other story, Jay?
So Sonic Central is a live stream that's happening Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific on the official Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube and Twitch. They're celebrating the 30th anniversary, and they're announcing a bunch of stuff like games, movie announcements, basically everything that's going to be happening with Sonic.
Cool. And that's like Thursday, like tomorrow, Thursday?
Yes.
Boom. All right. So our live listeners, check that out. If you're watching a podcast, you missed it already.
Yeah. You got to tune in live.
Right. All right. Mo, you got any more stories?
My mom just called me because she knew.
All
like,
right.
She goes, "You're probably busy, so I'm gonna bother you." I don't know. I just told her, "Shut the fuck up. I'll call you later." But yeah, Brie Larson is reportedly in talks to play Mara Jade in the theatrical, and it's like I'm conflicted because they did everything to avoid Mara Jade so far, and Star Wars Union was amazing, let alone the stuff that led up to that with Mara Jade in it, and they ignored all of that, including Ben Solo. So, I'm sorry, they made Ben Solo, not Ben Skywalker, but and it's like Yeah, it's and that casting, like I don't think she should play Mara Jade. Yeah, but what
She
do I
looks,
know?
she looks good with red hair.
Okay, like yeah, I mean if that's all it takes, you know.
No, that's definitely not all it takes.
I mean it is to you because you see people with red hair as they all look the same to you, but
No,
I mean clearly like that's why you would say that. I don't see why you would say that as a benefit of the doubt kind of thing. Like it's like looking good with red hair is not,
it's like it's one of these things where, I mean, obviously based on Brie Larson's Captain Marvel performance, I wouldn't be like, oh, she'd be a great Mara Jade. I wouldn't say that, but like based on like if I was looking at like her Scott Pilgrim performance, I would
I
think
mean,
that
Scott
would
Pilgrim's
be Mara
performance
Jade.
is like whatever. Like it's not amazing,
It's a good performance.
but that's just because it was good, a good movie. Like everybody's good in that. Like it's not.
No, like you could be a bad performance in a good movie. Like she played that character well. It's like that person,
character isn't Mara Jade. That character isn't Captain Marvel. Like she could play that character. Yeah.
No, like I'm not. Trust me, I'm not in on Brie Larson as Mara Jade. I'm just saying that I know that when she wants to, she can act.
Yeah.
But you don't know. Like at least I know for me, I don't know when that's going to be because sometimes like there are points in Captain Marvel where it's like not great.
I mean, she won an Academy Award.
Not for Captain Marvel.
No, but look again. She did those Honda commercials or Nissan or was it Infinity commercials, and it's like she's not good in that either.
No.
So I don't know. I think she, if anything, yeah, Tire Cloth for once makes a good point. I think Brie Larson would make a good Samus Aran if they did a Metroid movie, and that's because you don't get to see her till the after credit scene.
No,
Yeah.
I think you're right, though. I think she would be a great Samus.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm more like it's a multi-tiered disappointment level for me, and that if that story is true, But yeah, I don't know. And then there's like leak scenes of Love and Thunder of Natalie Portman walking around, and there's Love and Thunder in those scenes. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a shoe thrown at me. But
Yeah,
on Instagram, somebody asked, "Is she going to be Thor though?" And it's like, yes, like that's the whole plot of the movie,
Yeah.
But also, it's like she's not really going to be Thor because they're not doing the Donald Blake thing that they did with her. I don't think because the movie set it up as that's not a thing. So. So yeah, technically she'll never be Thor. She'll just carry the hammer. Yeah.
But in the comics, she didn't really do the Donald Blake thing. Like
Right. Well, she was unrecognizable because it was a female Thor, and then she turned when she didn't have it or unactivated the power. It was Jane Foster.
yeah, but the Donald Blake thing, like Donald Blake and Thor, kind of almost like switched places, right?
Right. But look, it's two different bodies in the female.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. It's a two different bodies.
And I feel that you're right. Like, you're not gonna do two different bodies. Okay.
Right. So and that's where I'm like, yeah, technically she'll never be Thor because Thor is still Thor. Because when Captain America and Infinity War grabbed it, like the foundation of the MCU sets it up so that if you grab the hammer, you can wield the thunder, and that's about it. You're not Thor, Vision carried it. He didn't turn into Thor. He didn't wield the power of Thor. And Captain America grabbed it, and he didn't had an Optimus moment where he's like Captain America but Thor, mashups, So the movies aren't gonna do, she'll never be Thor per se. you know, in the biblical sense. But yeah, so she'll just carry the hammer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was my fight this week on Instagram. Follow us so that you can get in on all of that.
It's a great pick. Like, you know, we don't have to go too deep into it if you all don't want to, but I am interested in hearing what you all think about this entire like AT&T, like basically selling off the WarnerMedia section of the company, which basically includes DC Comics and potentially
like fuck is that sound?
Are gonna merge with Discovery.
Is that me?
And so, huh?
Is that me in that sound?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's me, I think. Hold on.
Yeah. The fuck, man? Don't you mute your notifications?
Normally they're not. They are, but I don't know. It's acting up. So anyway. So yeah, what do you think of that?
I'm sorry. All I heard was ding. The last thing. You know me. I get fixated on this shit.
I honestly am not sure how I feel about it. Like, it's odd, but I can only hope that this move increases confidence in the company.
Yeah. And
well, but I would like it if it brings more confidence in the company. I kind of got a personal stake in the matter. So, you know, I want AT&T to do good, to be best.
Wait, you have money in AT&T? Is that what's going on?
Yes.
You bought shit? Oh, dude, you should have sold those a month ago. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like AT&T is a sinking ship. They overextended their resources. They got rid of DirecTV, and they're merging their media shit with Discovery, and they're more importantly, they're cutting off your dividend. So the moment they cut off your dividend, that's when you should have sold, because there's no real benefit in funding whatever the fuck ideas they have. Like, you know, all I really care about at this point from AT&T, look, and this is beside comics, this is the money. Like, if you listen to the Money Magnum podcast, you would have heard that, where I got rid of all the AT&T shares. Like, all I care about AT&T is about Lily's big breast right now. That's it. That's all that's worth it in AT&T right now, because their fake 5G don't work, and their media shit don't work. So, you know, HBO Max actually is proven to be good as a service, but they got rid of that before it started proving to be good. So, yeah, we're gonna get better shit there, but that's gonna be Discovery. Like, if anything, if you could invest in Discovery, you should have done that a month ago. But because the dividend, the whole point of AT&T stock was dividends that it played, and they
haven't stopped that yet.
But they're stopping it in like a month. Like, it's time to get rid of AT&T. Like, there's no also from an investor standpoint, there's no point in having money in AT&T if they're cutting off the dividends, because they're not creating new technology, they're not doing anything, and they're not the leaders in the industry in their market. They're not the market leaders in their industry, so they're the sinking ship.
The general consensus does seem to be that people, like, they're trying to get out of the entertainment business, and that's why they're selling all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. And cutting the dividends is the death knell. Like, they're gonna do that, and like, get out now, because by the time they cut it off and you sell, you're gonna take a loss, my friend. And now I'm talking to you like a stockbroker. I call you my friend, you know. But yeah, this is Money Magnum talking. Yeah. Like, if anything, right now, take Get rid of whatever dividends you got from AT&T, cash them out. Put that shit in your copper, your gold, your silver, because inflation's coming. No, but inflation's coming. Don't fuck with the Bitcoin. Don't fuck with the crypto. That's lottery tickets. It has a price of $5, but it could be worth nothing. So go into your precious metals right now, because when inflation comes, that's the shit that's gonna make you money. Now, I'm not a financial advisor.
Now he's not a financial advisor.
I'm not. If you do anything I tell you, consult with a professional, because I'm not licensed to tell you this. I'm just telling you what I do based on what Tom Likas tells me to do. So, yeah, take that. Yeah, that prick's a millionaire, and he made all his money not on radio. So yeah, that prick is a fucking, like, he lives on a 20-acre ranch, and that he makes money hand over fist on dividends and on EFTs and yeah. Listen to him. Don't listen to Elon Musk about financial advice, because this motherfucker just stopped taking Bitcoin because he realized he was being hypocritical because of the amount of coal it takes to power all those servers. So yeah, listen to Tom Likas, not Elon Musk, on financial shit.
So I guess I feel like the general consensus from the comic book community is like,
oh, we're talking about comics. Sorry.
Things can't get worse for DC Comics. Like Discovery's not going to treat DC Comics any worse than AT&T did. So things will probably be fine for DC. And potentially could even get better. Who knows? Like maybe the people at Discovery actually like think there might be worth in investing in the publishing arm a little bit, or at least making them, like, you know, happy. Huh?
Didn't Discovery used to own Cubo?
Yeah,
And
they
you
did.
saw them.
They what?
You saw what happened to Cubo.
What is that again?
Exactly, Larry. Exactly. That's exactly what Joe's trying to tell you.
Oh,
yeah. They didn't do anything with it. It had potential because it was a Cartoon Network type thing geared towards a certain age group, and that still produced, you know, quality content. And it didn't happen. Like, it didn't go nowhere.
Oh, okay.
It did okay for a while, but then it did.
Yeah, they did okay until but that's the thing. It's, you're getting AT&T is treating their media shit like Discovery treated Cubo. So why would you expect for Discovery to treat DC better than AT&T treated DC? Yeah, they gutted it. They literally Donald Trumped it. They dismantled it and left it quivering, and then expect somebody to fix it. But then the person that fixes it isn't like gonna want to do it. Like there's no point in putting those resources in there. Not for Discovery. There's no real benefit for Discovery to put resources towards that publishing arm. Maybe the TV shit and all that shit, maybe, but not the publishing.
But I'm not saying like dump a whole bunch of money in it, but if you make people happy so they keep making stories, and those stories are things that you're like, well, we can turn those stories into
Larry. Poor, optimistic, naive Larry. There's no money. There's no money.
Right?
There's no money in keeping people happy. MCU doesn't. Look, MCU keep people happy up until the contract expires. Yeah, so they do the contract, but it's not like they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna revive Tony Stark." Like they're not gonna shell out that money. They're like, you know what? Let's try to make this WandaVision good. Let's try to do that. And look, that's fine because they could do that on the cheap. There's nothing that DC has gotten as cheap as it's gonna get. There's nothing you can do to like keep people more you're not scouting talent. Yeah, like look, you can scout talent, but it's like that publishing arm is a dying industry. It's a dying industry. Specifically, like if the comics as a whole, print comics as a whole is a dying industry, that's the gangrenous left leg is DC. So why would you put money? Just chop it off.
I guess we'll see.
You'll get those if you can get those characters and use those to sell out, make movies, then yeah. But comics, you might as well kiss those motherfuckers goodbye. Discovery's not gonna keep it alive.
I guess, yeah, maybe I am just optimistic. I'm like, I don't have any faith in non-comic book people making great comic book stories for characters that have existed.
The thing is, it's not about. Well, you're talking about comics, all right? Look, yeah.
No, but I'm talking about the comics in relation to supplying the ideas for the mass media stuff. Like not comics like for the sake of comics. Even though I personally feel
feeling that this mass media stuff has to follow the comics to be good or to be successful is a flawed thought process, because you can't, like, half the shit that people love is not like the comics. Yeah, people love the Snyder cut. People love the Snyder cut. It's like, that's not Superman.
No, but look, they say they love the Snyder cut, but
they love it.
Look, all you had to do was, let me put it like this. If the Snyder cut had released in theaters, I don't know that the Snyder cut would have done any better than the Joss Whedon cut.
I think it doesn't matter what it did. It's what it did. He got paid to do it again because there was enough people that liked it. There's not. Look,
I think that was just bad management at WB. Honestly,
again,
somebody made a rogue decision.
Again,
and everybody, dude, what are you doing?
Again, HBO Max has proven to not be as lame a duck after that, because people flocked to it for it, and they stayed with it.
HBO Max isn't successful because of the Snyder cut.
No, HBO Max was doing poorly. It wasn't doing what they wanted. The Snyder cut, once that came out, and the thing they're doing with the movies now, it kept people around. It's a viable medium for streaming right now. After that,
I mean, listen,
I'm telling you.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't agree.
You don't have to agree. It's the facts. It's like you believe that it isn't.
What? You don't have any facts. There's no.
Yeah, there are facts. The numbers. There is numbers. There's numbers on subscribers and customer retention.
No, but Moses, if you don't know, like, how do you know that it was Justice League versus them releasing their entire movie slate for 2021 on HBO Max?
It was the thought process of doing that. The Justice League got people talking about it, and they flocked to it, and they stuck around. It could have been other things. It could have been a combination of things.
That's the thing.
But the thing is, the Snyder cut got the news. That dominated the news for HBO Max for the. Come on, Larry, you act like you didn't report on these news stories.
I'm saying
nobody. You guys here, like, you guys love Dave Chappelle. We talk about Chris Rock. You guys not talking about that damn Michael Che?
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand what that has to do with the conversation we're having.
That's a show on HBO Max. Nobody's talking about the damn Michael Che, but they still talk about the Snyder cut.
No Michael Che.
Yeah, but I don't. What's the point that you're making? I don't.
The point is that manipulation of news stories got people flocking, and it got people to look at HBO Max differently. Like, oh, we're getting this is maybe something, even if they're not even that interested in the Snyder cut, they're like, well, this is big because people are talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
a lot of great stuff on it.
It has more stuff that isn't that great than stuff that is great. But people are still using
streaming platform.
Again, like, that's not they're people. It's a success now. After they decided to, AT&T decided to do their shit.
I'm not disagreeing with that idea that it's not. I'm not saying it's unsuccessful. I'm saying that success I don't feel is due to the Snyder Cut.
It's a perfect storm of things. The Snyder Cut is Big Thunder.
You guys are being circular. We should move on.
Yeah. Hey, so something that I am excited about in comics, which I was surprised by, friggin' Todd McFarlane's Spawn announcements, which I missed the initial announcement, huh?
The Spawn universe stuff?
Yeah. I don't remember the initial Spawn universe stuff, but now that the details are coming out, and him deciding I'm gonna get creators to help me create this a whole bunch of characters in this universe. I'm like, you know what? I will give that a shot, because it's one of those things where I've kind of wanted to get back into Spawn, but I haven't had what I felt was a good jumping on point. I every time Spawn has a seminal issue, I always pick it up. I got 250, 200, 300, you know what I mean? But it's not like I mess around and read Spawn regularly, but I feel they're gonna launch the Spawn's universe joint, and from there they'll spin out into he's planning on launching 4 different titles eventually. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna read those and check them out. How do you look? Is there any part of y'all that would be like, you know what? I'll see what Spawn has to offer, or are you like,
well,
I'm over?
I got a chance to look at some of the King Spawn stuff,
and
that looks like I want to read.
Yeah,
so I'm definitely it might be one of those things where there's something for everyone, instead of just one title that we all have to, But part of it is how's it all going to connect? Am I gonna want to have to buy everything? But you only get that from reading it, and I'm up for it.
So yeah, the Spawn's universe book is basically like an alpha, and from there you kind of get a little bit of each of the other series that are coming, and they're doing King Spawn. They're gonna do a gunslinger Spawn. They're gonna do, I think, a she Spawn, and then they're doing a book called The Scorched, which is a team up book. And so
that's a good name for a Spawn team up book.
The Scorched. Yeah, no, I agree. I was like, dude, that it all sounds really cool. And so the Spawn's universe book is supposed to have Greg Capullo, it's supposed to have Donny Cates, it's supposed to have David Finch, Todd's gonna do stuff. It's a lot of, and there are more creators a part of that too. Say it again, Jay.
He was streaming today. He was drawing artwork. David Finch.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Was
it Spawn stuff or something different?
I didn't watch it. I only found out about it because it was,
that's fair.
It was in my subscription videos.
Yeah. But I was just like, dude, Greg Capullo doing Spawn stuff. It's I would like to see that.
Read Spawn 27.
No, I wanted to see him do new Spawn stuff.
Oh, okay. Look, say what you mean. Say what you mean.
Greg Capullo doing new Spawn stuff. No. All right. Look, anybody got any more stories before we get out of here?
Natalie Portman is in Thor: Love and Thunder.
You look okay. You go get his shoe. You trying. I see what you're doing over here. You're trying to get that makeup. I hear you. I see you. All right. Shoot, Moses Magnum. Go ahead, give me some final thoughts, man.
Oz isn't here, but you can enjoy his package. It's actually up and ready now. So if you hit the like and the subscribe, and so you already got, and the bell, you already got that notification. But yeah, it's up and ready. Oz's package is up and ready for you right now on fantasticforum.live.
Indeed. Jay, give us some final thoughts, buddy. You're muted, Jay.
Yeah, okay. I guess you're just not going to review Demon Slayer, huh?
Oh, damn it, Jay. I mean, listen, you don't want me to do a quick review, right? Or you want me to do a quick one?
I do.
I can stop the music.
Yeah,
No. I'll do it in my final thoughts.
No, stop the music. Let's review Demon Slayer.
Jay, stop the music.
Oh, sorry, this is the wrong one. That's
Yeah.
Comic book theater. Comic book theater.
We're doing movie reviews. Larry, you watched Demon Slayer. Tell me all about it.
So, as Jay had mentioned before, Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, is a story about basically the cast of Demon Slayer going onto a train and fighting demons, fighting a demon and a demon's minions.
Now we have a whole episode discussing that, so it's really just your take, right? Is that what Joe wants?
Yeah, just my take.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my take is that it was really good. You know, like I don't know what Jay wants me to say, but Demon Slayer's awesome. I think everybody knows that, and if you don't know it, what's wrong with your brain?
Yeah.
And I mean, like it was fantastic. It was great to be in the movies again, even though the popcorn sucked. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's so bad.
Well, because they have to sanitize it from when they pick it up. Yeah, when they pick it up off the floor, they sanitize it to put it back in the machine.
I was really disappointed because it was my first tub of movie popcorn in a year and a half, and it was like I was like, dude, I could have just eaten good movie popcorn and I would be like, I'm just saying I was really disappointed. It didn't make the movie bad, but it almost did. That's how bad if it wasn't Demon Slayer, if it was some other random like anime movie, I might have been like, that movie sucked, but it really would have been just been the popcorn.
If it was a popcorn movie, you'd really been disappointed.
Oh, dude, listen, if I had watched what's that joint with The Rock, the big one, is that what that movie's called, with the earthquake? What's that movie called? San Andreas.
I guess, yeah.
If I watched San Andreas with that popcorn, I'd be like, man, The Rock's losing it. But because it was Demon Slayer, it's amazing. And I should stop eating this, but I ate it all still. I paid money.
Yeah, Hegs in chat says the popcorn.
It tasted like it. It tasted like pandemic popcorn. I was like, damn, what is wrong? Like, I was like, the butter didn't even make it good. I was like, Jesus.
That's because it's not even butter. Like, you couldn't believe it's not butter. But
no, I mean, I know, like, listen, I know the only movie theater that would actually put real butter on their popcorn shut down because of the pandemic, and this is why President Trump's the worst president, because of that, and because comic books stopped for a little bit too. God damn it!
He also got
huh?
He also got OKKO, Let's Be Heroes canceled.
No, see,
that was a direct result of his actions.
Look. So what I'm saying is, Demon Slayer is amazing. It fights mediocre popcorn and demons. The animation is is ridiculous. And I mean, this is like, I mean, that's all like, if you have seen Demon Slayer as like the anime, which just go watch 2 episodes. I promise you, by that time, you'll either be like, this is something I need to keep watching, or there's something wrong with your brain. One or the other. That's it. That's like, those are the options, and you'll just be like, so imagine that at a friggin' movie scale, like on a friggin', like, imagine what you saw in the show, but it's a feature length production. So that's, yeah. Let me put it like this. I wasn't planning on going to the movies probably until Black Widow came out, because I didn't think that there was like a movie that really was like gonna say to me like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what, I feel like that will be worth making a trip to the movies. And then Jay was like, so they're showing this Demon Slayer joint, and my only concern was, will it still be around once my vaccination is full? And once we determined that it was playing for that extra week, we went done. So that's it. It's fantastic. You should go see it if it's still in theaters, which it may not be. But if it is in a theater wherever you are, then yeah, go watch it. It's like, you don't even need to be watching the anime to go and watch that joint. It tells you everything you need in the movie. It's self-contained. Don't get me wrong, there's some characters in it that you may not recognize if you're not watching, or if you haven't gotten far enough in the show. But everything you need to know about those characters you learn all the pertinent stuff you need to know about the characters you learn in the movie. So go watch it. You'll have a good time, especially if you like. I mean, honestly, I feel like even whether you like anime or not, you might just like it because it's a good story and it's cool, it's interesting. It's like, yeah, it's awesome, man. Mess with it.
My nephew went to
Say
see
what?
it. My nephew went to see it, and
yeah?
he hadn't watched the series at all. But he went with his friends to go see it, and he's like, he really, really enjoyed it. And he's like, you ever seen it? And I'm like, honestly, I only watched the first episode. But as a first episode of an anime, like, it just does a really good job as it is. So I can only imagine what a movie does. Yeah.
It's amazing. And, like, I still haven't finished the first season. So, there might be some things that I learned in addition, maybe, about some of these characters. But realistically, like, most of the characters I was familiar enough with. There was just like one that I was kind of like, oh, is that person, do I know more about, or did I learn more about that person? If I kept would I have learned more if I kept watching? I don't know. We'll see. I'll find out, because I'll probably be finishing up real soon. But I was just like, man, it was a joy to watch. So I give it
5 out of 5.
5
Stale popcorns out of 5.
5 stale popcorn. I feel like that's what I'm gonna give bad movies. 5 stale popcorns. I give it 5.
That's like your Razzie Award.
Wonderfully natural buttered Arclight popcorns out of 5. It's fantastic.
Hegzilla in chat says, Trump, you son of a bitch.
I agree.
KO was a treasure. And you're right. Yeah. Okay, KO was a treasure.
Yeah.
I like the art style. I don't know if I would have gotten into the cartoon, but I like the design, the character designs. I just like looking at them. I actually watched it on mute like twice.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I just like the dude. Like, yeah. It has to do with the little bandana, right? Yeah. And he's like, buff. Yeah. It looked cool. Like, I want those toys. I don't know if I'm going to sit there and watch a whole cartoon, but, I'm a busy.
Designs are really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot I had also a different final thought, but when we get to that, I'll do it again.
See the Captain Planet up, Mo.
I would check that out.
Actually, honestly, all their crossover episodes are really good.
Yeah. You know, I guess I'll do my final thought now without the music, but because because it's more like a commentary thing. Like I'm mad at you, Larry, for doing a show that's only news, so we don't have to read anything or watch anything. And you know, I'm mad at you for agreeing to do it when I suggested it, because I had to watch this show called Sweet Magnolias on Netflix. Because I'm like, I don't have to do nothing for the show. I'll just watch this, and it's so dumb, but I still enjoyed watching it. But it's so dumb. I don't recommend it to anybody. And if you watch it, you're just gonna have this smiling face of like, man, what a beautiful waste of time. I really, it made me feel like I'm dumb. Like, you know, sometimes I wish I was dumb so I wouldn't get aggravated by news or news stories or shit I read in you know, on the Associated Press, you know. And it's like, yeah, this is what it's like to be dumb, to just be happy with life and not expect anything good anything more than what you get out of life. Yeah, and I can't wait for the next season. Sweet Magnolias, I think that's what it's called. I don't even know the name. But yeah, it's retarded. I'm sorry, slow adult. But yeah, I blame you, Larry, for not giving us something to review or
I don't know what that is, but I didn't tell you to watch it.
Like, I'm gonna make you watch it.
Oh, I don't know if I want to watch something called Sweet Magnolias.
You'll love it.
Oh,
All right. It doesn't look like something I would love.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. I don't even know how this show gets made, and it's like, you know, Sandman took this long.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's
I feel like that black woman's trapped.
It's a total waste of time. That black woman has the worst storyline ever. She breaks up with a guy because, you know, he's like how he is, and he never wanted to have kids. And then when he finally comes back, like 10 years later or whatever, it's like, when we have kids, like, when we have kids. It's like, well, times are different now. You want kids? I'm like, fuck no. And he just leaves. It's like, how the fuck did you expect him to want kids when he's old as fuck now? When he didn't want kids when he was young? Like, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah. And that's the whole plot point of an episode. It's like, such a waste of time. Like, you want to talk about, look, I'm surprised that AT&T didn't sell this to Discovery and this is what they made.
All right, let's hit the friggin' final thoughts music and actually get out of here this time.
It's playing, it's just low.
Okay, Jay, final thoughts.
Fuck Disney.
I agree.
Wow.
Damn, I forgot to have that picture of Disney Larry.
I don't know.
I have a picture of Disney Larry. Let's see if I can bring it up. Well, yeah, you might not be able to see it. Where is? Yeah. But yeah, here he is, Disney Larry. The focus might not work, but yeah, no, it's not working.
God doesn't like ugly Mo.
I was gonna say, then why are you here? But you're the hottest member. But you're the hottest member of Fantastic Forum now at a svelte 264. Look, you're probably like 259 now. Since I last saw you.
Listen, from your lips to God's ears.
I'm so angry. I did 3 hours of cardio today.
Look, there it is.
And I gained 0.3 pounds.
And you gained 23 pounds?
No, 0.3.
Oh, 0.3. Oh, hey. I told you, man. Don't do that every day, man. You're going to drive yourself crazy.
It's too late.
Listen, for myself and the rest of the team, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Until then, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit notification bells, do the cha-cha, follow us on Twitter, freaking do all this and that and the other with Instagram and Facebook us. Yeah, all that. We'll be back next week. We're the Fantastic Forum. Have a good night.